I've read 5 books this week, and so the first book I read this week was Wicked Lovely, which is the first book in the Wicked Lovely series. I don't know how, but I actually managed to read Ink Exchange, which is the second book, first. And I have to say, I do actually prefer Ink Exchange. I don't know what it was about Wicked Lovely. I know it was kind of, you know, the foundations, it was setting up the world, and I don't know, it didn't have the same. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I can't articulate cohesively what I am trying to say. I just didn't like it as much as the Ink Exchange. And I will say that Ink Exchange, although it's the second book in the series, it's more of a companion book than a sequel, because Ink Exchange follows a different character's journey within the same world. I don't think you have to read them in order, and you could probably just, you know, it's worth reading Ink Exchange, it's worth reading Wicked Lovely, but I wouldn't say you have to read it to understand what happens in Ink Exchange. That's just how I feel. So that was the first book. The second book I read this week was The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab, and I don't know, I can't, even now, days later, I still can't say what I want to say about this book. I just love it. I love it. It's one of my favourites. I will reread it and reread it. It's just got something magical. It blew my mind, basically, and you should read it if you get the chance. I will say that it is only available on American Kindle, I think, at the moment, US shop. I haven't seen it in the UK shop on Kindle. My mum had to transcribe it from the paperback for me. I loved it. It's just an amazing book, and if you get a chance to read it, you should. It's not on audio at the moment, but you know, you have to wait for these things. And it reminded me, I think it was Mort from the Discworld series, when Death decides he wants to have a vacation from being Death, and he gives himself the name Bildor, and he goes to work on a farm because he's handy with a scythe. I think it's because it's based on the moors, and it's a small village, stone houses, and anybody coming into the village is a stranger, and they have to be, you know, suspicious, or they might do bad things. But it's a great book, and I read it in one sitting. You just go through it. It's just an amazing book, so read that one. The third book I read this week was a bit of a disappointment after the first two. I really wanted to like this book. It had quite a bit of hype about it. It's not a new book. It's called Forgive My Fins, and it's the first book in the Fins trilogy by Tera Lynn. I just found it really irritating. I knew going into it wasn't going to be the kind of book that I would read, because it was kind of a love story, and I don't generally go in for romance because it's predictable and boring. The main problem was the protagonist, Lily. She just bugged me from chapter 1, and you know, if you don't like the characters and you can't engage with them, you're not going to enjoy the book, and I don't know why I carried on with it. I'm just a stubborn reader, and I won't put a book down because I always give it the benefit of the doubt that it will get better, and it just wasn't for me. Book 4 and 5 for this week is Knife by R.J. Anderson, and I'm reading this still on the Kindle. I've got a few chapters left, but I'll probably finish it tonight. And the last one is Eyes Like Stars by Lisa Manchev, and I'm listening to that on audio, and I currently have about 2 hours left, so I'll probably finish that tonight also. And I'm really enjoying these two, so they are making up for the fact that the third one was rubbish. So 4 good books this week and 1 not so good. That's not bad, that's pretty good. I'm going to do this thing every week where I recap what I have read, and then tomorrow I will do a video of the books I'm planning to read for this next week. Thanks for listening. I will see you in my next one. Bye!